Well, we got another one. Noticed, of course, over time, people seem to take exception with me not putting an extractor notch in a barrel face. Well, I'm going to say this again. Galils, they are not AKs per se. Okay, they started off, their great grandpappy was an AK, but they've kind of went a few generations on down the line. And one of the things that was changed over time was the extractor notch. Now, if you've got a notch cut out of your barrel and it's called an extractor notch, that means it's cut to allow for the extractor, which is, this is a Polish, I think, or Hungarian or something. You can see the extractor sits up above the face of the bolt with a cartridge in it. So if you put the weapon together and there's not enough room between the bolt face and the chamber face at the back of the barrel, that's going to lock up against the chamber face when it goes into battery and drag, or hopefully drag and unlock. If it can unlock, it's because that's basically forced up against the back of the chamber. So what they do, they cut a 90-degree pie slice, 12 to 3, and it's called an extractor notch. Everybody knows that, but that's the reason behind why they cut that notch, is because that sticks above the face of the bolt and it causes binding or seizing problems. Originally, on the early Galils, they did the exact same thing because they just simply copied the AK bolt and made it in 5.56. Okay, yeah, they put the sand cuts in there and all that. They did a little changing, and they changed the bottom. But they made the extractors just like a 7.62, and like I said, they just radiused it and cut it for the 5.56 cartridge. Well, as the generations produced by the Israelis ticked on through, they figured something out. They can not cut the extractor notch if they simply machine the extractor flush with the bolt face. Okay, that leaves a whole lot of play or room, when you're head spacing the barrel, because the way the Israeli barrels are head spaced, the chamber's deep, the shoulder is thick, and you're supposed to face off the shoulder to set the neck to the rear. Well, when you do that, the chamber face goes with it. It comes to the rear too. So that gives a whole lot more room for play. You can set your gap between the chamber face and the bolt face and the head space a lot easier if you do it the Israeli way than if you do it the Russian way. So, like I said, look, it's not sticking above it. Okay, that started in mid-production sometime in the late 70s or 80s, I'm told, and that's with a round in it, and there's no protrusion. So this can go literally, if you've got the shoulder or the face of the chamber all the way, 5 thousandths or whatever off that bolt face, or hell, even touching it, you don't need an extractor notch. The gun's going to cycle just fine. Funny thing, everybody will tell you an extractor notch is supposed to be, 30, 35 thousandths cut. Well, I measured that on this AK bolt, and that's about what that thing sticks out, is about 30, 35 thousandths. So yeah, if it's not sticking out on your bolt and your kit, you don't have to cut a damn extractor notch. It'll run just fine. Trust me, I've got more than a few of them out there without one. And before I get they never did that, blah, da, 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 here we go. Okay. This here is, we know what that is. That's a cut up micro. And this is one of the newer good condition kits. But funny thing, no extractor notch. There's a lot of dirt, a lot of cosmoline, zero extractor notch. Okay, and to drive it home, here's the stub out of a SAR kit. Again, no extractor notch. Guess what? The bolt is right here for the SAR kit. That's the bolt for it. Okay, so it was in pretty damn good shape. Don't look horrible. Doesn't look like it's got much miles on it at all, actually. Same with the barrel. Crying shame they had to cut that up to get it into us, but there it is. And I'm going to throw in a couple other little tidbits. Some of the little machining quirks that I do on these receivers when I build one has been drawn into question. Well, as you can see on the original receiver, there's a step cut across there. It's not exactly straight across. It's step cut. And I believe that's probably a machining thing for pocketing out for the bullet guide. Could be wrong, don't know, but it's a good guess. The other thing I do is I do a little radius up in this corner, and that is, I know exactly what that's for. If you put one together and this is straight across and you refinish your gun and you're firing it, pull your bolt carrier out and look on the top right corner of the shaft or whatever, just behind where the piston pins in. If you see wear on that, what is happening is that bolt is coming forward, it's hitting here and it's wanting to go up and to the right, up and to the right. So every time it cycles, it's creating wear on your stem. Do you a little ding right there. That's all it is, just a little pocket. And it goes straight every time. It locks in because on the corner of the bolt carrier, it's round. If this is square and that's round, they don't play well together. It goes up and over. Do you a little ding right over the top of the barrel there. This is kind of an optional thing. I do it more for looks, just so it kind of looks more original. But this is something you want to do on your US receiver to cut down on drag, because that's what it's doing. To get the finish wore off, it has to be in contact. And contact is drag. So you want it a little slicker, a little easier to, break battery and charge the rifle. Do you a ding. That'll help you out just a fraction, but hey, every little bit helps. And yeah, guys, I value people's opinions. I listen to what you people say, but when you just blatantly come out and say, well, you didn't do an extractor notch, you're half-assing the job. Well, if I'm half-assing it, I got a good role model to go by. Okay? If it doesn't need to be done, why do it? Okay? That thus ends the lesson on extractor notches.